Hi there, you're both on the line.
Yep, okay.
Hi there, how are you?
Hi there. Hi, Tim. I'm Vic from Bangkok Business News, daily newspaper in Bangkok. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Okay, I'm good. It's afternoon here and it's hot.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Let's start the question, yes?
Okay.
Okay. Can you tell us about the journey of this album? Is it the rough ride or smooth gliding or any fantasy adventure?
Well, you know, it's been pretty good. I mean, it took a long time to write the songs for it.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely found that hard work and quite stressful.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I think we really wanted to tell a kind of human story. You know, of what it's like being a
Human.
Being a human, yeah. So, you know, being a man in your 30s and trying to work out where you've got to with chasing your dreams through life.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a long time to work out how to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, when it came to actually recording, we really had a lot of fun and some really good times, and you know, we loved it. You know, you always have arguments and ups and downs, but generally it was really fun.
Mm-hmm. But you have the new member of the band, yes?
We do, Jesse.
Yeah, and does it change in any band sound or the dynamics between the band members?
I think it changes things a bit. You know, in lots of ways. I mean, he first came in so that we could have a real bass player, which makes it much easier to kind of work out songs in a more organic way, you know, to record them more live, which we did a lot of in the studio. And so that was great. But also, you know, Jesse has listens to different kinds of music and has different influences, and he's kind of obsessed with music the same way that I am. So he helped me a lot with the kind of early stages of finding the sounds for the record, and you know, that was a real help and really helped to shape the sound of the record. So it was a big thing for us.
Yeah, and any particular sound that you guys have been set to achieve for the new album? And which track is the holy grail for that quest?
I think, you know, we wanted it to be complex emotionally because, you know, life is complicated.
Yeah, okay.
But we wanted the overall feeling to be one of hope, and a feeling that, you know, however bad things get, you can always get through it, you know, to new things and good things, and get to the, you know, from the darkness into the light. So, you know, I think Silence by the Night is a really good example of that. You know, it's a very simple song, and it's full of emotion and regret, I suppose, and, you know, imagery that I feel very close to. But it also has this sense of, that, you know, you can get through the bad stuff. So, you know, that's a really good kind of representative track, I think.
So it's kind of personal, or it's just like an observe of the story for you?
All our songs are very personal, really. You know, that's kind of the only way I know how to write. I mean, I very rarely write songs which aren't basically about myself.
Yeah, okay.
Very typical self-centered artist. But yeah, you know, I think a lot of the songs are kind of almost talking to myself and trying to say, you know, you can get through this low period and you know, fight through to something better. So yeah, Silence by the Night is definitely a message to myself, but I think equally it applies to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. And how do you weigh between storytelling, which is with the you can find profile lyrics, or you more concerned about melody and rhythm of the music?
Well, I think I'm quite a melodic songwriter generally, so I normally start with that, and then, but you know, I do think the lyrics are really vital to a great song. You know, I don't think you can have a great melody is. I don't think you can have a great song without a great without great lyrics and without a real sort of something in the words that really affects people. You know, whether it's, even if it's a cheesy dance track, you know, there's still going to be something that makes people feel something. You know, so yeah, you know, it's all important, I suppose. I find it easier to write melodies, and I find it hard to write good lyrics. But you know, it's that's part of the challenge of songwriting, and I you know, it can be really soul destroying sometimes, but when you get something good, eventually it's an amazing buzz.
So I'm curious, are you writing your own diary or your journal or something, or you just like express into the song? Or
Yeah, I think I put everything in the songs. You know, I always think I should write a diary, especially because we're touring all the time and we go to all these amazing places, and you know, we have a lot of fun and live quite a crazy life, I suppose. And I keep thinking I should write it all down, but I don't know. I never get around to it. I don't know if I'm just too lazy or something, but I have tried, and you know, but when I come to write it down, it somehow seems very dry on the page, you know. So somehow I feel like it's better to kind of keep it in my heart and my head, and then translate it into songs.
Okay. Does the 4 years gap between the previous album and the new one matter at all for you? Like, it's the time to come back and expose yourself to the world in music scenes?
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I mean, it takes a long time as well. We're very slow. We work very slowly, sadly. You know, I wish we could get records out quicker, but you know, we did an EP between the last two albums, and I also did a side project with Jesse from the band, and you know, the time just goes by so quickly. So like I said, it really took a long time to write the songs, and that was the main problem. But yeah, also, you know, you do have to live real life a little bit, I think, you know, because otherwise you just end up writing about tour buses and airports and hotel rooms, which is not very interesting for real people.
Yeah. So are you ready to go back on the crazy world?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, okay. Are you on